Hello guys, welcome to the part 3 of our course, and in this particular series we're going to just continue from where we stopped, and we have been working on the dashboard for our online learning mobile application. So we stopped at this point, and this is where we continue. Okay, so this is how the dashboard looks like, and we're just going to continue building from here. We stopped at this point, let's continue building. Now for this part, okay, what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to go ahead and bring in a container. You see, if you look at it very well, you see that there's a gray background, right? There's a gray background, and that's like the biggest container there. So we're going to just go ahead and bring in a container. Then after that, we're going to put a row inside the container because things are being stacked from left to right. And then for this particular part, we're going to put in a column. Okay. All right. So let's do that. Now here we click on the container itself and look at the dimension. Don't forget, we just check out the height, and then we check out the padding on the left and right. But well, the way this design is being made, it's not uniform, and we want to make it uniform in our design, so we'll use 21. Okay, so the height here is 106. The things I'm going to copy is going to include well, I'm going to copy this gray. Let me see. All right, so there is a gray background here. Let me see what that is. So there's a gray color here. So if I click on this, there's a gray color, and this one, let me see, this is like 46. Okay, so if it's not, we're going to just change it a bit, but let me copy this. Yes, and then it's 106, which is the height of the container. So I'm going to click on here, the column, the main column. Let me hide this. The main column, I'll click on add a child to the main column, which is this icon here, and I'll say container. So my container is going to have a maximum width, so I click on the infinite symbol here, and then I will say the height of my container is 106. The padding on the left is going to be 21, right? And then the padding on the right will be 21 as well. Okay, now that we've gotten that right, let's try to paste the fill color that I copied. Now this makes it way too deep. This is not the fill color, right? That's not the fill color. This one of these other ones is going to be the fill color. Maybe this one. So let's copy that and paste this here and just see how it looks like. Okay, so I think this is the fill color. It's not really giving me the vibe. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, my background doesn't really have a color, so I can't really see it. So let me zoom it in a bit so you can see. I can't really see how it looks like. If I click out now, it's not really obvious. Now I need to wrap the entire column, this big column, I need to wrap it with a container so that the entire background will be white. So I'm going to come here to this column and right click on it and say wrap widget. Okay, and that's going to be container. Okay, now let me scroll up so you can see this how it appears, and I'm just going to say I need it to have an infinite width and an infinite height. Okay, so that way now I can now see this container. I see now this is now correct. If I go ahead and look at this UI design again, I'll see that it has a border radius of 20 radius pixel or 20 pixels. So I will go ahead and say, let's scroll down here, select the container, and then give it a border radius of 20. Okay, now that we have done that, the next thing that we're going to do is what? We're going to go ahead and add a row like I described. We add a row, and then the next thing we're going to add is this particular image. Okay, so the image is 75 by 75. Let's come here to this side and export the image. So I'll use 2x. Let's click to preview and be sure that that's what we're exporting. Click to export, and then here is 75 by 75. So now that we have a row, we need to just go ahead and add an image widget. Okay, this is the image widget, and the image widget is going to be 75 pixel as the width and 75 pixel as the height. Beautiful. And then it doesn't have any border radius, so I remove the border radius. Okay, I will scroll down and change from image type network to asset, and then I will go ahead and click on this to upload the image. Okay, so this is where I get to upload the image. Okay, so the thing that I had downloaded, I cannot find it here. So that means it's actually going to be like a zip file. Okay, so really something has happened that, okay, let's go ahead and see. It downloaded. Okay, it's downloading as a zip file. So this is it. Let's come back here and let's click here to upload, and we're going to say all files. Okay, and then we will see this is a zip file. So I'll click this, Ctrl X to cut it out. And then where did we put that the other time? We put it here. Okay, so let's just go ahead and paste this here. It says replace. Yes, just replace it. We have already used the other one. And then here I'll just right click and say extract all, and then I will uncheck this. I don't want it to show extracted files when complete. So now I will just refresh just to see what happened. I think everything will be inside here. I think the first one was base. Let's see, this should be what we're looking for. Let me go ahead and upload this. Okay, let's see now exactly. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and give it a padding of 15 pixels to the left. Okay, so we'll go ahead and give it 15 pixels. So we'll say here 15 pixel, and then just like I described it before, we're going to put a column here, and then we'll now start the setup. All right, so I'm going to add a column here, and the column is because we have these particular setup all here, right? We have this text, then we have this one, we have this, that, and all of that. So we need to go ahead and then just do the entire setup quickly. So here, I'll just click on this. Let me see, can I copy it? Okay, it's not allowing me to copy it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just copy what I have here. Just copy it here. And now, these two text here, like the text that we have here, they have a combination of fonts, right? So one is 700 by 12, one is 400 by 10. Which one do you think is 400 by 10? It has to be the smaller one. While this one that is 700 by 12 is this other one. Okay, so I will go ahead and then do that here. I'll add a text, right? Okay, then I'll add, I'll come over here and paste what I copied. And this is going to be 700 by 12. Okay, 700 by 12, and I'll click on it and say Ctrl D to duplicate it, and since it's in the column, it will stack under it. And so this one is going to be for this part, so I'm going to copy all of this. Yes, Ctrl C, and the font is 400 by 10. All right, so I will just go ahead and click on this and say let's come over here, we'll say 400 by 10. We paste it first, then we now come here and change it to 400 by 10. Beautiful. Okay, so I'll now go ahead and click on the column and say alignment to this side, the left hand side. All right, and then I can go ahead and look at the color for each of my text, like the text widgets here. So here is more like a gray, so I'll go ahead and then find a way to get gray. I think I can just get a gray from the available colors inside FlutterFlow. So I'll click here and say this one. Okay, so this gives me the gray that I need. All right, and then what I could also do now is, let me see, let's go ahead and do some basic adjustment. So now this column is a little bit far away from here with a padding of 20 pixels, and then from the top it's 15. So what I will do is I will give it 20 on the left. Okay, and then I will click on the row and give this row, no, let's see, let's give that 15 to the column. Let's say 15 to the column, top like this. All right, and then we will go ahead and complete the remaining part. So let's see what to do from here. I'll click on this, Ctrl C, click on the column, Ctrl V to paste it, and what I'm pasting there is this one, the price. I'm gonna just copy it, and I think it has some spacing in between, so 6 pixel. So I'll click on this, give it a padding on the top 6, then also change the content to what I had copied, and then I'll click on this one and say Ctrl 6, Ctrl C, and then I'll paste this one as well. Oh no, I'm not gonna paste that here. I will go copy something else entirely. So I'll just click on this and delete it. Now you see we had something like that around here, so we'll just copy it. Okay, so Control C to copy that from here, and then click on the column and paste it. Okay, so like this, now we have the same thing, but the only thing is that the colors are different, so we need this to be pure black, and then this one will just be gray. So let me copy the color. All right, and then I'll say click on this, is going to be black. So I'll come over here, change the color. No, yes, change the color to black, primary text, and then click here, change the color to gray, paste. Then I think the same thing with these. The icon here is also going to be gray. I will click to say fill color goes to with these, and then I will click on these, change the fill color to these, yes, and then I'll click on these and change the text color to what I had copied. Now that way we have been able to arrange this properly. Okay, so let's look at what we have been able to achieve. Now let me see. Let's click on this and see whether it's well positioned. I think this is let me go ahead and say center align, and I will remove the padding on the top here. Really, I'll just remove it because I want it to be organic. Now we have like a perfect arrangement. Okay, so let's check one more thing. All right, so this is perfect, this is perfect, everything just looks good. Okay, so we are done with that particular scenario. What we would like to do next is just duplicate what we have done here for the different scenarios here. Okay, so let's maybe we will later on create these scenarios here for these items. Yeah, so let me just go ahead and duplicate this. But I think from what I'm seeing here right now, this is going to come from this might not really come from database, but this comes from database. All of these things come from database, so we can maintain the designs here, right? Yeah, we can maintain the designs here, or later on we can even have our own specific design. So there's no problem, we can just duplicate the entire thing that we have here. So click on this, click on the main container and say Control D. That's to duplicate it. All right, and then I'll just go ahead and close this, click on this, and I need to give it some padding from the top. You see here it's 12, so I'll say 12 here on the top. Okay, so I'll click here to give it a padding of 12 on the top. Yes, that's it. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just say Control D to duplicate it again, and that's about it. Later on we will actually get all of these things from the database, so no need to worry at all. I want to go ahead and then give a padding for this one, so I had to check, so it's 12, so I give a padding here 12. Okay, now we have gone significantly far with what we have been trying to do. All right, so what else do we need to do? We need to go ahead and put these navigation icons. But the thing about navigation icons is that for you to add this particular part, you have to have the page. Okay, so for instance, if I come over here, let me show you. Let me reduce this. I'm supposed to use these this particular what is it called? This particular nav bar here, and say maybe turn it on and say show it in this page. But it will tell you nav bar requires at least 2 pages. So we don't have other pages, and so we can't even use that particular type of nav bar. But now, lucky you, we have another way around it. So I will go ahead and click on this icon. I'll download all the icons that we have here. And I will say, let's go. Let's just go ahead and click to export it. And then I'm exporting this. I hope it's coming as an image. Oh man, it's not coming as an image. It's actually just coming as like a zip file. I would have preferred it if it was just like an image. It would have made things way easier. So we have this. Let's just export everything that we have here. So let's go ahead and export this as well. Search. Okay. Then let's export this. Let's export this. Click on this. Export it. Yes. And then here, just export it as well. You can actually increase the resolutions here. Okay, the exports resolutions. So I'll click here to export it, Now we've exported a couple of them, and we need to go ahead and then like manage them. So let's go to our file and then get them out. Let's turn this off first because we're not using this approach to do it. We're going to use a different approach entirely, and that approach is going to be a bit interesting, like way more interesting, because we can now use customized icons. Okay, so how do we do that? Now we have a column here which is for everything, and we can close it, right? So we want a situation whereby that particular the nav bar here will just stick to the bottom. And so how you do that is you are going to right click on this column, the main column, wrap the widget with a stack. Okay, wrap the widget with a stack because we want to put something else there. So now in this stack we're going to add a container. All right, so there's going to be a container. Well, we can actually do without a container. Yes, we can actually do without a container, but I would prefer we put it in a container. And then now we have we're going to put a column here because we're going to have this icon, then the text like that. The same thing with these and the text like that. But in this situation, just use one column here, then the rest would just be regular shapes. Okay, so let's get it right. Now this is where the container is. We want to give it a maximum width. That's it. And let me see. It looks like this is going to be roughly about 70 pixels as the height. So I will go ahead and come here and say 70 pixels as the height. And I will go ahead and click here and say add a row, like I'm adding a row in that container. Now in that row, I'm going to add a column, and in the column, I'm going to add an image, and I'm going to click on the column to add a text. Okay, so the reason is because there's going to be an image here for this particular icon, and then we're going to have the home text here. So now that I have a text, I'm going to go ahead and write here home. Okay, home, and it's going to have to be black. So I'll click here and say black so that we can actually see it. Now we haven't still been able to see what is happening there. Let's click on our container. All right, this is our text, the column, row, column, yes, image. Okay, and then I get it. Okay, so what we're going to do, the reason is because the image was way too big, so we need this image to be 32 pixel by 32 pixel. So we're going to come over here and say 32 pixels, and then come here and say 32 pixels. Okay, that way we can now see our text. Okay, let's remove the border radius. Okay, and we will go ahead and then change this from network to assets so that we can actually bring our image into FlutterFlow. Click on this, and then we will go back inside. We're going to go back inside our downloads, and then I will have the files here. Okay, so I'll click on here to say all files. Okay, now I have everything. So I'm going to just cut everything out. Let's just say, oh, it's not allowing me. It wants me to pick one thing per time. So I'm going to just cut this out and take it to where I have my files. So I'll just paste this here. It's saying replace. Let's just do it one by one. Okay, right click and extract the file in that same location. All right, extract. Now file has been extracted. We click this to open, maybe to be in base. Okay, yes, it's inside here. So how simple. All right, so now we have that. Let me see what the size of the text is. The size of the text is 400 by 10 pixels. So we'll click on the home here and say 10. Let's change the size to 10. All right, and now we have these container on top, but this is not where we want it to be, right? We want it to be at the bottom. Yes. Okay, so we are going to have to go ahead and click here to actually take it to the bottom. Alignment, we just clicked here, and then now we're telling it anytime that you are in it on any device, it has to always be sticking to the bottom. All right, and that's why we have it here now. And then the next thing that we need to do quickly is we will go ahead and then bring in this other part of the icons. Then we'll just center line everything. Okay, so with these now, I will come back here. click on my row, then click on add a child to the row and say image. All right, the image is going to be dimension 22 pixels. This one is 22 again, and I think this one is also 22. So all of them, they are 22. So I will change these from 300 to 22. Then I'll change all of these to 22 as well, and then I'll change these to just delete it. All right, then I'll change from network to asset, and I'll click here to upload the image. Okay, let's go back to my downloads. Then I will go ahead and change this from to all files so I can see even the zip files. Click here, cut it out, take it to here and paste it. It asks me to replace the file. Okay, it didn't ask me this time. Maybe it's quite different. So I'll go ahead and right click on it and extract all here and extract. That works. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is I can just do for all of them at once now. Okay, so I now need to come here, Control X, come over here, Control V, extract, right click and then extract all, and there you go. Okay, now we have that again. So the next thing we need to do is go back to the last one, click on this, Control X to cut it out from there, and come here, Control V, and it's pasted. Right click and extract all, then extract. There you go. So now we need to go ahead and find the other thing. So I don't know where it could be. I think it would be maybe here, right? Base, icons, search. Yes, it's search. So now we need to go ahead and give it some padding. Let's click on this and look at the distance apart, 57.5. So we can do the same thing here. So padding on the left is going to be 57.5. Okay, great. Then we need to go ahead and do something else. Let's duplicate this, Control D to duplicate that. Let's duplicate it again, Control D. Then let's click on the row and use this center line. We want to center align it. Okay, so this is how it is. So I'll click on this image now, and I need to go and get the real value. Okay, so let me go back one mode up, a couple of modes up. Then click on this, base, icons, place circle. I think this is it. Okay, then after that we'll also change it for this one. That's it. We click on this, upload the file, take it back one step, another step, then open this, open the base and user. Okay, so now we have this arrangement for our design. I will go ahead and click on this, and it looks like it's perfect, right? So let's look at this. Look at it. It looks like it's perfect, but I don't really have the proper padding for this thing, right? So I think what I'll do is, if I click on this, I'll see the top here is 9 pixels. Yes, so 9 pixels. So what I'll do is I'll click on the row and say everybody should go up, right? Like that. Then I can click on this and say maybe 9 pixels. I think it might just give me something, a better look. Yes. So I click on this and say 9 pixels from the top, 9 pixels. Yes. And then the same thing here, I say 9 pixels. So now it looks a little bit more like what we have. Okay. Now we can go ahead and then work on other screens. So far, if I go ahead and reduce all of this, you see that we did an incredible job, and we can actually go ahead and preview it. But I think we have one error. Navbar requires at least 2 pages. So let's click here and we've actually turned that off. Let's click on this and go and actually turn it off for real. So turn it off. We're not using this particular type of navbar. Okay, this app bar. Let's turn this off. Okay, so that's it. We don't have that error. So now if we go ahead and then preview the application itself, we will see that we have done something really significant. Okay, so let's just wait for a couple of seconds until we see what has been done. Just a couple of seconds and then we'll check that out. But so far so good. We have done like some significant work, and in the future side of our course, we're going to work on the next screen we're going to work on is going to be the profile. We're going to work on the profile. Then from there, we'll work on the search. We'll just keep working like that until we're done. We're going to focus on all the UIs first before we now begin to do backend, okay? Which is where it gets even more interesting. So this was the first preview, and then this is the second preview. All right, so I actually like the UI for this application. It's like really, really neat and beautiful. So this is it, really sweet. And I can actually go ahead and then maybe adjust, see, look at how it fits perfectly into this. Okay, beautiful design. All right, guys, so we'll continue our tutorial in the next course. See you soon.